Hi and welcome to the Sonic Academy video on Ozone 7. In this video I'm going to give you a rundown of the GUI of the plugin, so I'll just show you where everything is laid out. So right here, this is the main window. Whenever you're going to work on a specific module such as an EQ or compressor, all the controls are going to be displayed right here. Over here we've got your input and output sections, and we've got your bypass control. Now this ear will ensure that whenever you bypass, you'll get the same level as when you unbypass. So in other words, it would basically compensate and match the incoming volume. Let me just show you that. I'm going to take this ear off now, and let's turn this up a little bit. Let's back off the output slightly. And now when I click on bypass, it's quite a lot quieter. Let me do the same with like the EQ here. So is that really better? Or is it just louder? Well, the ear will let you find out. So by doing this level compensation, you can actually just listen out for the tonal changes, the tonal quality, without being tricked by the extra loudness that you're adding through the processing. Okay, so over here we can mono material, or swap you left and right. And if you have advanced, you can click on codec here and preview what this will sound like as a reduced file, like an MP3. This is really cool as well. You can actually just listen to the artifacts. So this is what is being created as an artifact by compressing it down like this. So that's a really handy way to sort of tell or compare whether it's going to sound better in this format or this format here, and maybe compensate a little bit. If you know what your format's going to be, just go in here and say adjust a certain area that's lost a little bit of information through compression. Over here you can actually just click on this and load up some mastering presets. Now these presets are a very good way to get familiar with sort of methods of an expert. Like if we just take this one for example, and look at the actual amount of boosting here. 0.3 dB, 0.4, 0.6, so he's not making massive changes here. And if you look at the compression, if we go to all, you see these numbers down here show us the compression amounts. Again, not a lot of compression. Probably designed to be backed off a little bit coming in, but if you did push it, you know, you'd get a little bit more. But this is a good place perhaps to start, you know, or to investigate how somebody else who is a mastering engineer, professional mastering engineer, approaches the issue. Okay, so there's your presets. You've also got an undo here. You've also got a history. So if you've made some mistakes, you want to go back. I want to go back to when I did, you know, had the codec on or whatever it might be. You can jump back in time here. Over here, we've got some settings. Now with these settings, it's worth going through them, but most of the time, you're not really going to need to change much. The only thing I really changed was when I went into the equalizer. I like to have the soft saturation on. And that just means that when you boost the EQ, once you get to a certain point and the input is high enough, it will start to soft saturate a little bit. It actually sounds really nice. Okay, so the other thing is, let's see, your crossover types, you can choose between analog, digital, and hybrid. That will make more sense when we look at the multi-band processing. But as I said, for the most part, you could pretty much just leave everything where it is, unless you have some specific requirements. Okay, and finally, if you click on this button, you will get the help documentation. So that's it for the actual GUI that you can see over here. Now I'm going to show you how to load and deal with these modules. So if you have a blank space, you click here and you can choose from one of the available modules. If you don't have a blank space, you're going to need to clear out one of these. So you can only have 6 different modules at a time, and you can actually only have one of each. The only exception here is the equalizer. Let me get rid of this and show you. You can have an equalizer and a post equalizer. They're exactly the same. Our post equalizer is already in here, look. They're exactly the same, but they've given you 2 because typically you might want to use one before compression and after compression. But everything else you have one of, and once you use it, you can't use it again. So you click on this X to get rid of them. You can click on this button right here, this power button, to actually just mute them or bypass them for now. And each of these have their own solo buttons too. So we're doing a bit of editing here. I could just solo the imager. That'll instantly bypass these here. Or just solo the EQ. So this is just one of the EQs. Or maybe solo the maximizer. And you can also load individual presets for each of these modules. So that's pretty handy, especially if there's one particular process, like say multiband compression, that is a little mystifying to you. You could always just go down and use one of the presets as a starting point. Okay, so that's been a general overview of the GUI. We're going to get into more depth with each one of these modules in the coming videos, so stay tuned and I'll see you then.